Before the first note echoed through Wembley that night, something else caught my eye. Not the lights, not the roar, a sign. It was small, made of blue construction paper, the edges uneven, and on it, written in a child's trembling hand, were words I'll never forget. "Freddie, I'm 9. This is my last concert. Please sing Love of My Life for me." Behind that sign sat a boy in a wheelchair, thin, pale, an oxygen tank beside him, whispering like a heartbeat that didn't want to stop. His name was Liam Parker. I'd faced stadiums that could shake the earth, but that night, it was a single boy who stopped me cold. He smiled like someone who knew his time was running out, but didn't care. And when I saw that sign, that fragile plea from a child who had no reason left to believe in anything, the music that night couldn't just be for 50,000 people. It had to be for him. For one boy who reminded me what I'd forgotten, why I sang in the first place. I learned later that Liam had lived more in hospitals than in playgrounds. He called the sound of IV drips the world's slowest metronome. He even named his IV stand Ringo. God, I loved that. His mother told me he started every day asking, "What's today's song?" Even when his body failed him, he believed every day deserved its own melody. A volunteer once played Somebody to Love in his hospital room. Liam closed his eyes and said, "It feels like sunlight in my bones." When she told me that later, I had to walk away for a minute because I remembered the first time I ever sang that song live, how it made me feel alive again. He'd been fighting cancer for years, but when doctors told him it was back, that there wasn't much time, he didn't cry. He just told his parents, "I have to see Fred. I have to tell him." He made me brave. And somehow, those words spoken by a dying child reached me across city, across the walls of fame. They found me, and I didn't know it then, but they would save me too. When you live in my world, endless tours, flashing cameras, 1,000 people calling your name, real letters rarely make it through. But this one did. Jim Beach, my manager, brought it to me. He said, "Freddie, I think you want to read this one." It was from a mechanic named Tom Parker. His son, Liam, was dying. They weren't asking for money, or even to meet me. They just wanted to see one show. There was something in the father's handwriting, steady but desperate. You can feel love through ink. I felt it. We arranged everything quietly. No press, no headlines. Just a chair near the front, power for the op, and a few medics on stage. No one needed to know. It wasn't for the world. It was for one boy, and a promise that music would find him. When I stepped onto that stage, the air felt different. 50,000 people screamed, but my eyes went straight to that blue sign. It shimmered in the lights, secret waiting to be. And as I walked closer, I swear the noise around me faded until it was just me, a piano, and a boy holding on to his last song. For the first hour, we played hard Radio Gaga, Another One Bites the Dust, Under Pressure. But somewhere between the thunder of the drums and the flash of lights, I saw that blue sign again. It didn't move much, just a small flutter in the dark. I leaned forward, squinting through the glare, and asked into the mic, "What does that say, darling?" Someone near the front repeated it, and when I heard those words, "This is my last concert," my hands froze on the piano. It felt like the world exhaled. So I stood, walked to the edge of the stage, and found him, this tiny boy with eyes too big for his face, wearing a hospital bracelet like it was jewelry. I said, "There you are. You've just changed." The crowd laughed softly, but they didn't understand. I wasn't improvising for showmanship. Something in me shifted. That boy wasn't asking for attention. He was asking for connection. And I couldn't say no to that. Not when I saw myself in him, the performer, still trying to believe in magic despite the pain. I sat and the crowd fell silent. The kind of silence that makes your heart thump louder in your chest. Then I began to play Love of My Life. The first note was fragile, almost afraid. Halfway through the first verse, I heard him, Liam, his little voice, faint but steady, to sing along. I turned the mic just slightly toward him, and the crowd understood. They began to sing with him, for him. 45,000 people, breathing as one. I'd performed this song hundreds of times, but never like that. This wasn't performance, it was communion. A boy facing death, and a crowd reminding him he wasn't alone. When I reached Bring It Back, I slowed down to let him catch up. And then I heard it, his whisper, his effort, his courage. When it ended, I pressed my hand to my heart. I looked at him and said, "You, my darling boy, are the bravest voice in the world." And in that instant, I realized something I'd forgotten for years. Music doesn't just fill rooms, it heals them. After the show, when the crowd was gone, the night finally exhaled, there was a knock on my dressing room door. It was Liam. His parents wheeled him in, and I swear the whole room brightened. He looked at me and said, "Freddie, you were really loud." I laughed. "Darling, I've been told that before." We talked for an hour about music, about cats, about why he thought penguins wore tuxedos. He asked if singing ever hurt, and I told him the truth, only when it matters. Before he left, I took off the silver ring I always wore, the one I never removed on tour, and put it in his hand. "Wear it when you're scared," I told him. "It's made of stubbornness and stardust." He grinned. "That's good medicine." I said, "The best kind." As they left, I felt something I hadn't in years. Stillness. The kind that isn't empty but full. That boy didn't just listen to my... He heard it deeper than anyone ever had. We never planned for anyone to film it, but someone in the crowd did. A grainy video, shaky, imperfect, found its way across Europe. By morning, every newspaper wrote Freddie Mercury stopped show for a dying boy. But they missed the point. It wasn't about pity. It was about power, the kind that doesn't come from fame. That recording, that fragile harmony between my voice and Liam's, started something unexpected. Hospitals began playing it for sick children. Doctors said patients smiled more, asked to listen again. One nurse told me their heart monitors calm down when the song comes on. Imagine that, a song doing what medicine couldn't. Liam didn't recover, but he laughed again. He told his parents so Freddie would watch. When reporters tried to turn it into a spectacle, I refused interview. Because it wasn't my story anymore. It was his. I could have moved on. That's what performers do. One show ends, another begins. But I couldn't. Liam had carved a space inside me I didn't know was there. So I started writing to him postcards from the road, little drawings of cats in crowns, silly jokes, nonsense. Everyone ended the same way. "Tell your fear I'm not buying tickets today." He wrote back too. Lyrics scribbled on hospital notepads. "When I can't breathe, I'll hum instead. When I can't stand, I'll sing instead." I kept those notes in my piano bench. Whenever the world felt too loud, I'd open it and read them. Every Friday, I called him. Some days he was too tired to talk, but I'd sing a few ridiculous lines until he laughed. Those calls weren't charity. It was survival for both of us. Because sometimes when the stage lights go dark, the only thing that keeps you human is the echo of someone who believed in you. I still remember the morning the call came. His mother's voice was gentle, almost apologetic. "Freddie, he's gone." The words didn't sound real. Nothing did. A week later, I went to his funeral, quietly. No cameras, no spectacle. Just a rose. Just me. Stood beside that small coffin, and you kept singing, didn't you? That night, in Paris, I changed the set list without telling anyone. I sat at the piano, looked up, and said, "This one's for a boy who taught me how to listen." I played Love of My Life slower than ever before. Every note felt heavier, but purer. When my voice cracked on the final line, I let it. Because that song wasn't just his goodbye, it was mine too. Months later, his parents founded the Blue Sign Foundation to bring music to hospital wards. I supported it quietly. No headlines, no speeches. Just envelopes that said, "For Liam's Orchestra." They installed speakers in children's hospitals. Each one carried a small blue sticker, "The Sky Doesn't End." That was the title of the last song Liam wrote. Years passed, but before every performance of Love of My Life, I began doing something new. I'd pause, touch the ring on my finger, the one he once wore, and whisper, "This one's for you, kid." Crew members still tell new staff the story of the boy who changed the set list. And backstage at Wembley, behind an old amp, a tiny blue crown sticker still clings. No one touches it. They say it's good luck, but I know better. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest hearts echo the loudest. The original blue sign creased, and glitter smudge now hangs in a hospital hallway. Underneath, a plaque reads, "He asked for a song. The world listened." Every year on Liam's birthday, the hospital plays Love of My Life. Doctors pause, nurses hum, and if you listen closely, you can almost hear him, that little voice whispering through the speakers. I'm still flying. People often tell me I gave that boy something special, but they're wrong. Gave me something. He reminded me what my voice was for. Music doesn't die, it just changes who. And somewhere in that melody, Liam Parker is still smiling.